Hi, today I'm showing you how to do a Christmas design in stained glass style using everything from my shop at Tino Vo shop. I'm Tino Vo and welcome to our online nail art class. So for this design, I am using beige nude as the foundation for the nail bed. So this is top gel beige nude. Top gel meaning top coat, because this gel is no wipe. You don't need any top coat after it's clear. You can put top coat on if you want, but you can just let your client walk out the door without top coat. That'd be fine too. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna paint on about almost half the nails, a little more than 1/3. Okay, then I am going to wipe it clean. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take a paper towel, okay, and I'm gonna take out some acetone or polish remover. Just put it on the side, and the brush that I use will be oval brush. I'm gonna use that. Okay, now I'm taking oval brush, and you don't want any acetone yet. You want a clean brush. And what you want to do is you want to go right here and establish the base of your nail bed. Gonna be right there. Then you want to wipe it off like this. See how amazingly clean it is? And you don't use any acetone. You just wipe it off like this and just use a clean brush. Back in the day, I don't know, and I use acetone back in the day immediately, and polish, it will go everywhere. It will just blend everywhere. Alcohol will be even worse. As long as that is a liquid, then it will just not really good to use it to clean your gel. So I'm just using a clean brush. See how nice it is? And sharp too. And then I'm just cleaning my brush with acetone to clean up the gels, and I'm wiping it right off. See? It don't have any liquid on it. And I can go back and finesse it a little more if you are a perfectionist. If you're not a perfectionist, then you're done. Okay. And then, if you want to be even more crazy with it, you're gonna take a 10mm liners and some beige nude, put it out on a palette, and then soak in your liners. Of course, you want to stroke it out to make it slim, because you don't want it to be caked up with gel. You just want it to have gel in it, but not a lot, because you're not gonna use the gel in the brush draw. You're gonna use the gels that are already down here on the surface to draw. The reason why I soak it in with gel and kind of stroke it off is I don't want to use a dry brush. Then it's gonna be stiff. It's not gonna be good. So I want to use a wet brush, but doesn't mean that it caked with gel. See, now it's perfect. Here, this for 60 seconds, and this is what I mean. Let me zoom in. See, it's have gels, but you couldn't see it. See, what I do is that I really pack it in like that, but I'm not gonna take this and then draw. That's gonna be awful. I stroke it out so it don't have barely any gel on it at all, but it's a wet brush, and I use that wet brush to maneuver the fine lines. I will do it again so you can see. Put it right here, taking out nothing else. Beige nude. Apply about more than 1/3, just like that. Just like that. There. Plus, if you are a press-on artist and you're working on like a tip like this, and you use acetone, it's going to like melt the tip, so you don't want that. You want to use it this way. Dry brush it is the best. But at first I use acetone just because it's common sense. You use acetone to wipe it off. Okay, now gauge it, and it's about right here. That's it. Wipe up excess gels. Come over here. Start to clean this side first. Again, you want to clean up excess gel very often just because you don't want to smear gel everywhere. You want it to be squeaky clean. See this? Bam, right there. Look at this. Perfect. I don't know if you clean often. A lot of people can go through the entire nail career without doing this. Just depend on what kind of design you do. But whenever I just want to draw a nail bed, because usually I would do the tip first, but the tip not gonna have anything. It's gonna have all kind of design, not a single color. And usually what I would do is I will put nude over the entire nail and then paint it the tip. That's how I usually would do it. But this tip, I want to use an oyster gel to paint on a clear background, so it can look cooler. That's why I have to paint just a nail bed by itself. Now, let me zoom in on this part. See, my brush is still wet. Let me zoom in. You don't need to take any more gel on your brush. Now, this is wet gel, so you just use what you already have down here, and you just run along the edge and make it even more pretty. Don't try to clean it from start to finish. It's not gonna be perfect because your brush are huge, and you're not drawing, you are cleaning, so it's very difficult to make it perfect. I would say that to make it perfect, you just go in with a brush like this and just straight along the edge. That way you have more control of it. See it just like that, all the way to the other side there. Whenever you need to take up gel, then you use a big brush, an oval brush. Okay, is it perfect yet? Now cure this. I'm not going to double coat it, but just in case you want to double coat it, you still need to see a little closer. Then you take beige nude and you should apply over it. Don't do this. Don't try to like apply like that and like this. Just because when you brush in a different pattern, it's not even and flat. You just have to go up and down like this. See, from top to bottom like that. That will make it nice and even and flat. Okay. Back in the old day, I would do this, like draw in a circle, but I don't do that anymore. It's just not a good surface. Okay, now clean your brush. Now when your brush is absolutely clean, you're gonna go in. Second time is always easier than the first time because you already have this nice little edge. So when you go in, you don't have to be exact. On purpose, I would go a little in. You see? You can see it. See that? If you look really close, you can see that it's not right at the edge. See? Let me emphasize this. Like that. You can do it like that and it's still perfect. Because the first layer is already perfect, then it doesn't matter what you do on the second layer. You cannot ruin that perfection. So, clean away. And then, done. So that is how you do 2 coats. But I'm not going to do 2 coats. I'm just going to do 1 coat. And I need nothing else. I already pre-painted it. So here is a finish curing nails. And we are going to take oyster gels and paint at the tip. This is golden oyster gels. I have 5 colors, by the way. And this will be the color that I choose, golden oyster gels. And it's pearlescent, so it'll allow you to do fun little swirl pattern. This is going to be fun putting on these oyster gels. So You can do it several ways. You can apply on the tip first, like this. Like that. As close as possible. And then you can use a brush. Remember, don't use a dry brush. Have some oyster gel in it. Just like what you do with the nail bed. Like that. And then you use what already on the surface and you go back in to refine the smile line. You can do that. Not my favorite way though, but you can do that. I've shown you a couple ways. See, because right here I already have to take some more gels, not enough. Okay. Or, this is my favorite way. My favorite way is go on it first. Okay, I have a lot too. And use this to make sure to go around the smile line, keep it nice and clean. Okay, all the way across the other side. Okay, but you don't want the line to stay small like this. You want to add a lot down here, a lot. Because then you're going to take a brush, you're going to go in and you're going to stroke it down. So if your line is really thin, then you have to try to be careful so you're not overlapping your smile line. But if your line, if there is a lot of gels and the area is really wide, you can just go in and stroke it down without being too careful. So try to plan it out like that so it don't get complicated for you. See, and just stroke it down. The reason why I don't use the entire, don't use the liner brush to color the entire nail, just because it's gonna make it inconsistent. Where if you use the brush from the bottle of the gel polish, it's gonna be more even on application. And you should do the other finger, same things. Just like that. Oh, I go a little crazy. Okay. And same thing here. Okay, now you just take oyster gel and paint it down like this. Okay. And oyster gel are different depending on what surface it's on. So right now it's kind of like a golden eggshell. It's what it looks like right now. But like if you put it on black, then it's more golden. And then if you put it on white, then it's more, let me take some white out. A light pastel buttery, blue and gold at the same time. Or periwinkle and gold at the same time. So it's different depending on what surface you put it on. And then I like to take these engraver and mixers and I like to go in here and do this, just twirl it up like this. Now, it's only work on oyster gels because on cat eye, even though cat eye have this kind of similar shimmer on cat eye, if you take cat eye and you twirl it up like this, you wouldn't see the pattern. The pattern would disappear. So when I use oyster gel, I have a lot of pearlescent particle in here that it will allow the pattern just to stay like this. See, all the swirl, just like that. And then you can cure this. Go ahead, put it in the machine for 60 seconds and then go over here doing the same thing. You don't want a lot of gel on your tool. You want to wipe it off once in a while to keep it nice and clean. Okay, twirl it up. Put it in the machine, 60 seconds. And of course, last one. Last but not least. Okay, all the way down, side to side. I just think this is so fun. It gives this enamel look. I don't know if you're messing with enamel before, but I love this effect right here, like a mother of pearl effect. Okay, go ahead and cure, 60 seconds. Okay, the other two is done. I'm gonna take it out. Okay, now front over, line work. Okay, dredges, line work. So, before we dive into these lines, I am going to do you a favor by recapping all the necessary information. Not all, but some important necessary information that you need for lines. So I'm gonna get out my tool that I use. This one done too. So I am going to take out one stroke liners. Okay, so the first thing that you need to know about lines are pressure. Okay, that's the easiest, is pressure. So when you're dealing with lines, if you just touch the tip of your brush and run lightly, touch the tip of your brush and run, you get thin lines. If you press and run, you get big line. Easy enough? If you switch the pressure, then the line gonna be different. If you press and then as you run, you lift and then press again. You see how the pressure switch? Okay? So when it comes to these lines, there'll be a time when you need to switch pressure. But when it comes to these lines, pressure need to be maintained. That's why you cannot talk. I will talk. Okay, I need to teach you. So I will talk, but you don't talk whenever you draw. You don't breathe too hard. Your shoulder and chest will move and will tamper with your pressure consistency. So breathe. If you cannot do belly breathing, then breathing shallow, but don't breathe too hard. But that's pressure. Now, when you constructed a line that are even like this, there is two different steps. So step number one is direction. Direction meaning, am I gonna go down? Okay. Am I gonna go curve like this? That's direction. Okay. That's involved thinking. Am I going to slant? See, that's involved thinking. And when you think, you can go from point A to point B, but your line is not necessary. It's even. Look at these. This line are uneven. Okay, this too thick, this too thin. This is thick and thin. It's not perfect. It's not perfect. Okay, so we're looking for perfection. So we are going first. Only pay attention to point A to point B equal a straight line. This one is a curved one. This one is a slanted line. So now we have the direction. We're done thinking. Now we're going to go back and adjust our pressure. So I'm going to go in here. I'm going to decide that this line is medium. So I'm going to press. And watch out for my pressure. Okay. Down here is a little bigger. So I have to go back and press a little more to make the line bigger. Go all the way down. Perfect, right? This one is bigger. So press more and then go. And you might have to stop. Take more gels, go back, press, and go. When you press, you need to gauge to see, make sure you don't press too much. Just enough to make the line like that, and then you can just drag. Same thing here. If you want it to stay like this, then you just press a little bit. See if it expands enough out to cover everything in its way, then you can go down with the same pressure. So it's not hard to keep the pressure the same. It's just hard to keep the pressure the same and worry about direction at the same time like this. If I'm going to do a straight line, okay, and then if I'm going to do a an angle, like a 90-degree angle. Okay, right now I'm gonna try to press and draw at the same time. So I'm going in with even pressure. I try to maintain the pressure, but now I have to figure out where to go. Okay, I have to try to figure out where to go. So I'm going down, and then I need to change it. So of course I have to apply even pressure, and then I figure out where to go to. And at this point, things can go wrong, because by the time you're done, it might not even be even, or it might not be 90 degrees. It might be a little more in, just because there's too much thinking. There's too much thinking. You have to try to press, okay? And whenever your pressure is light, you know that, because it's gonna get thinner. So you have to keep pressing out. So you are gauging your pressure while trying to decide where to go. So two-step process are difficult. So you better split it up. One is you stroking to have a sense of direction, and then you go over it again, but this time with pressure. So that are a couple things that you need to know about line. Besides the fact that when you draw, this hand stay the same, grounded, and this hand, you just place it on the table. See the forearm, lay directly on the table. Use this finger to anchor. You cannot just float on the design like that. That would never work. Don't try to do it like this with no anchor, because then you're gonna mess with your pressure. You're gonna go up and down. See, your hand are way too heavy. You have to anchor it so you're stable, and then you can go. Okay, so we're ready to draw now. Let's first frame the nails. So I'm using 10mm liners. Another thing you need to know is loading the gel into the brush. Okay. Turn left to right, just to pack the gel in. Especially when the brush bristle or fan out, that's a good sign. That means the gel can go inside the brush, and then you stroke it out to make the brush slimmer, and then you go on here and draw a smile line. See, now I can go back, finesse it a little more, so the line can be neat, more neat. This time I will try to eliminate any imperfection. Some area don't have enough gels, I add more. So when I design like this, you wouldn't even know how, because I don't explain it. That's why I spend like the first 10-15 minutes just to explain for you, so you understand. Because now when I draw, you wouldn't know what's going on, because number one is the detail are small and fine. Just like that. And number two, that's just a lot in the painting process that it will confuse you if I explain it now. So I already explained before, so now you know exactly what I'm doing. I'm going back now, and the reason why I'm going back is to adjust pressure, just to make sure that the lines are consistent. And that doesn't mean that you have to make your line consistent. You can have a little more imperfect lines, but that's not gonna help you pay the bill. Your client not gonna pay you a lot of money if your work is mediocre. Oh, I need to aim for perfection. Another one. And one stroke liner, you don't have to clear in between. It's not going anywhere. It's different with a cell level gels. This is like acrylic paint, if you ever work with acrylic paint. It's more dry, and it's very opaque, very sharp. That's why I choose one stroke liner for this process, because it's sharp, meaning the edge is sharp, the side is sharp, everything is crisp. Okay, so now I have this. I am going to switch brush. This is my 20mm liners, of course. See how the brush fan out? See that? That's a good sign. So now I can go in, dip a little bit of liner in here. Now you want to fan out your brush like this. Rock it from side to side and stroke on it like that. Now you're ready to draw on the side. The reason why I choose 20mm liner because for long line, this is a way better brush for long line. It's easy. For long straight line, very easy. I don't use this often, but you cannot go without it. If you go without it, it's difficult, very difficult. Like, I wouldn't want to do it with a 10mm liner or talk about a 7mm liner. Don't do that. Now, I'm going back using the 10mm liner just for me to fill this area right here. The reason why this line on the side is so big because when you turn it this way, you only see a little bit of it. You see that? So if you draw a thin line on the side, like on this side right here, let me show you. If I go in and do this, draw a nice thin line right here to match the other lines. When I turn it on the side, it disappears. You don't want that. So that's why I increase the width with lines that are on the side so you can see much better. Straight line all the way down. And then 10mm liner or embossed brush. It's up to you. Embossed brush will probably be funner to color. Just be careful though. Don't go out of line. That's why when it comes to line, maybe just stick with the 10mm for coloring because it's so narrow. Everything is so narrow when it comes to line work. Okay, and right across the free edge, I will go ahead and use a 10mm liner for this. And then I go back to make sure that everything is even. See? A nice little frame. You can cure this now. Or you can keep working on it from head to toe all the way to the end and then cure it. It's up to you. Okay. All the way down. All the way down. See, I can draw this with a 10mm liner, but I wouldn't bother to do that because it will just make it difficult for long lines. I'd rather switch brush. You see how easy it is? To go all the way through. Number one, because it's long, of course. And another reason why it's easy, because with short brush, it's very sensitive to your hand. If your hand have a low pressure, it's gonna get bigger. Like you already know about pressure, right? You press a little bit, it's gonna get bigger. And it for a shorter brush, like a 7mm detail, it's even more sensitive. It's very sensitive to your hand motion. If you press just tiny bit, it changes the line entirely. However, on a 20mm, because the brush is so long, it's not very sensitive to your hand pressure. You can accidentally press just a little bit and the line is stay basically the same. So that is a good thing about 20mm liners. However, every pro have its con. As I say, when you accidentally press a little bit, it doesn't get thicker, right? So that means that this brush is only good for thin lines. As you can already tell, when I draw a thick line instead of a thin line, I have to draw the frame and then I have to color it in. Just because this brush, you cannot just press it and it will get thick. It's only used for thin line, which I'm fine with, because I have other brushes that can take care of other tasks. I just really need the 20 millimeter liner to save my life. Whenever I have to draw a straight line, I grab it instinctively just because it's so easy for straight line. And I'm not always perfect. There is a period of time when line work are my worst. Like I'm worse at line work. Because you have to know that I am a freestyle artist. I'm not a constructive artist. I'm freestyle. So my line are flowery and my pressure are the same. So when I first started out, my line work are awful. When it comes to symmetrical line work like this, like my stroke when I first started is like this, like this. I'm sure some of you doing this. See, that's the way that's my stroke. It don't have to be even. See that? I draw like that back in the old day, which is fine in the old day. But now, that's more demand now. Now your line have to be crisp and perfect. So, go all the way down. So that's why in the beginning, I practiced for like 2 years and I doesn't get any better. I practiced for 2 years. And then when I start to making brushes, that is when I get better right away. Just because of the use of brushes. That's why now you can see I have like 18 different brushes. Just because each one, you can probably get by to your nail career with just like 1 or 2 brush. But the more you have, and of course you have to understand them, but the more you have, the faster your progress, the faster your work will make progress. Just because it's tool to help you. And then whenever I develop gel paint and different gel formula, I get even better because at first I use gel polish. Can you believe that? I use gel polish to do lines. It's awful. And then I discovered gel paint, but not like this, not like one stroke liner. I discovered gel paint, but it's watery. So of course it still doesn't get better. So I've been through a lot of experiments to develop these gels. That's why I have art gel and one stroke liner. A lot of people ask, what's the difference? And I tell them, well, art gel is a smooth gel. It's cell level. And then one stroke liner is a very opaque gel that are very crisp. And they say when to use what? And I tell them when to use this. And they also ask like, should I get art gel or should I get one stroke liner? And I just tell them, experiment. Get art gel first. Because art gel are beginner friendly. And then you probably want to buy like a black or white one stroke liner. And of course, if you fell in love with it, then you need one stroke liner. Just to put it there whenever you need it. But if you don't like it, then you can just stick with art gels. For me, I use both. But for artists, some of them would like art gel and some of them would like one stroke liner. Just depend. But for this, I find that art gel is the most effective. I need to cure that. I forgot to cure that. Okay, put it in. Okay, now we're going to talk about the design. So we are going to do a snowman and a Christmas tree and a candy cane. I'm going to do all 3s. Now the background, don't be nervous because there is so many details in the background. It's just straight line up and down across. That's it. It's very simple. So you need to draw the snowman first. Since the details are small, I'm going to use 7 millimeter detail first. Okay. I might switch back to the 10 if I find difficulty with the 7mm detail. It just depends on the spacing. If it's too long, then it's probably better with the 10mm. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and draw a line in like this. Let me draw the snowman on paper first. It's not gonna be pretty, it's gonna be fast. Just so you know my direction. Okay, straight line for the hat. Straight line down, straight line down, straight line across, straight line across for the banner. Then this line, you want to make it very voluminous. You want to color this in, and you want to draw a circle. I'm not going to try to make a circle perfect. 2 dots, a nose, dot, 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 all the way through. Scarf, 1 line down, slightly curve on both lines. Slightly curve on this line to match the circle, and then 1 line here, 1 line here, line across to make the scarf. Then the body, bam, right there, and then start from here, a bigger circle for the lower body, and then stick right here, finger, stick right here, fingers. Then on a candy cane, same thing. You want to space everything out, slanted, parallel, along the line, twice as much. The width of the candy cane go all the way up and around, like that. And then this one is slanted all the way to here, and then you do a curve, like a hook. Curve, and then again, slanted again. Okay, so that's candy cane. And then Christmas tree. That would be fun. Okay, now, Christmas tree, a triangle. And then in here is like leafy. Another line slanted down, and make it leafy. And then another line. So you don't want to start right here. You want to start right here and go down. And go down like that. Okay, like that. And the Christmas tree have little circle on it, just like that. So you probably want to draw a circle along the way for ornaments, okay? So that is just a rough sketch, literally, like super rough. Okay, now go ahead and start a snowman. Okay, we already have the straight line. We're gonna draw the hat. 1 here, 1 here. And go across. And on here, draw your banners. And then put a little pressure on the brim of the hat. I didn't know that word until I start drawing a snowman on a brim. And then you can color later. Go ahead and draw a circle. Start from here. Don't go too much out, because the hat have to fit the head. So start right here, and then you curve. Just like this. And then you draw the scarf. Just like this. And then draw this first before you draw the body. Bam, right there. And then just like this. I hope that's encouraged you to know that line work are not my specialty. It might seem like I'm so talented at line work, right? No. I'm very bad at line work at first. But following the right step, the right material, the right tool, it will improve you tremendously. You can take the embossed brush now to color it in if you like, or you can just keep the same 7mm detail if you're not very good with your pressure, because you don't want to be out of line. You want to remain in line. So if the emboss brush don't work for you, go back to the 7mm detail. It's just going to take you a little longer. So after you have this, you can here, or you can go back and just finesse the detail if you're obsessed with perfection. And of course, this will be a little slower, just because it's not a direction anymore. It's pressure for thickness, for even thickness. So that's why I talk a little less now, just because it requires concentration to gauge the thickness of the lines. But when I draw without the even thickness, I talk a lot, just because it's easy. Okay, and then you're gonna do the eyes. You can use a dotting tool, or you can just use a brush for the eye. Just up to you. I would say start from here. Little circle here. And then nose first. Always make sure you stroke your brush so it can be slim. The shape can be slim for you. But a lot of people just stroking the brush without loading the brush. So make sure you know how to do both. Especially if you learn from someone that don't explain for you. You might just end up stroking your brush. But remember, you also need to load it at first. Loading your brush meaning press it on the side a little bit and draw from left to right, so the pencil can fan out and it can load in a lot of gels, so your brush can be smoother, and then you can stroke it out to make your shape slimmer. Okay, now you can draw a button for the snowman. Be careful on the spacing for this. Okay, and then you're gonna draw little hands. Don't take this too seriously. Just 2 little stick. Now draw in the background. That is when you can switch back to a 10mm liner if you want. Even though these lines are still short, you need to gauge it. Like this. From here, you need to go down. And then gauging means you need to draw at the bottom. You need to visualize this line going past the snowman down to about right here. So that's why I feel more comfortable with the 10mm liners. Coming over here, same things. Okay. And then probably one in the middle. And then some little curve like this. Like that, curving down. And then some line across. Like this. Okay, if you want to draw another line, you can. I'm killing this. 60 seconds. Now, Christmas tree. Isn't that awesome? Isn't that fun? Okay. Triangle upside down. No, sorry. A V shape upside down. Okay. There. 2 little curve. Draw another V shape. No, not V shape. 2 slanted lines on both sides. And go in with a circle. Okay. So, circle. It's a journey. It's a journey. I first start out gauging my circle. Okay, epic fail. And then I start to dissect in the circle, which is a plus sign, 𝐴𝐵𝐴. And then I start to dissect in circle with a plus sign and an X sign. Almost perfect. But keep practicing and practicing and practicing with this. Okay, so plus sign and X sign, if you go from here to here, that's not a circle. Okay, that is a diamond shape. So learn how to space it toward a little bit out here. And at first, it's not going to be perfect, but it's going to be close. You will learn about this, about curving too fast. You will learn about that. Okay? You definitely learn about that. So you will learn to extend before you curve. You don't curve too fast. You extend down to here. And then you're going down. Okay? So I break it apart even more like this. I break it apart like this. Flat. Okay? Flat. And then this part, it will slant. And then this part will be flat all the way through the center. And then this part will be slant. This part will be flat all the way through the center. And then this part will be slant, flat, slant. Okay, so that's my direction right there. So in order for you to practice, you need to dissect that and then practice. It's gonna take you a while. It's gonna take you like a month. Okay, but eventually you will be able to, not with a pen, but I'm gonna try. You'll be able to gauge it slowly though, and it's not gonna be perfect, but it's, see that? So it's almost perfect. And then over time you might do it a different way. You might do half and then take a breath, take a breather, and then over here you might start out. Okay, and then there'll be one day when you can whip out a circle. Good luck to you. You can do it. But it helped a lot. That's a lot of practice. It take me like a month, but I practice every day on that alone. Okay. Going out. Okay. Again. Why is my liner is a little awful? Oh, I'm using 10mm liner, that's why. Oh, back to the 7. Wrong brush. I was like, I'm pretty sure I was great a second ago, and then there it is. Are you in the wrong brush? Okay. Just like this all the way down. Like that. I'm needing one more ornament right here. Just like this. Okay. Then almost done with this. And then stem for the tree. And then you can always go back. Remember, you can go back and adjust your pressure to make the line perfect and visually pleasing. Like this, all the way through. Okay. And then this one too. Okay, all the way down. Okay. And then the circle. Okay. Cue this. Okay, now the star. I need a new piece of paper. Actually, I'm just gonna, I need a new piece of paper. Okay, so I'm taking this out, and the stars, when I was little, I draw the star like this. That's just how I learned how to draw it. I have no idea. I didn't dissect it. I just draw it like that. Like that. That's how I draw when I was little. And then later on in life, I started to dissect it a little bit. So I was like, okay, so this part is straight across. That's one thing special about the star. Straight across with the arms. And then it going down like that, like a little A. And then this part connected this part connected this. And then later on in life, I realized that the star is equal at every angle. You can turn it around and it's all the same. And then later on in life, I learned how to draw the star without this line right in the middle. Just a silhouette of the star like this. Like that. Like that. And of course, in an epic fail, because if I do too much out like this, then you see what I'm saying? It's not equal. So then I have to go in and I have to pay more attention to the dimension. So I'm going down here and then I stop and then I go straight across. That one I know for sure. But then if I go too much down, then again, it's not going to be perfect. And if I go too much in like this, it's okay. Okay, almost perfect. So it's just up to you to practice the star. Okay, I think easiest is like that. A V shape and then straight across. Of course, this length have to be equal to this length. That's what I learned along the way. I'm self-taught on the star. So don't make fun of me. Go down here. And then I give it a little space. Give it a little space. Of course, that space have to be equal with this space. See that? Equal, equal. And then I continue going down, but this length have to be equal to with this length. Don't forget. Like that. And then this part have to be connected with this part, but I have to find the center. Bam, right at the center. Okay? So practice the stars. Of course, you can always use a sticker or a stamp. You can always use those. But it's not going to make you a better artist. Because you're not practicing the star to do the star. You're not practicing the circle to draw a circle. You practice those so you know how to gauge your design, how to visualize things, how to space different objects. You know, it's going to help. Like if you draw a circle and a star, it might help you to draw a unicorn, a realistic unicorn. Because there will be detail where you need to do all the twists and turn. So the star is on here. And of course, I need to take the right brush 7mm details. So I'm gonna draw the star. V shape upside down, and then straight line from both sides, and then continue to go down, continue to go down. It's a star. And then you draw a line on both sides. So I'm decided that I'm gonna switch it up by doing a dome, like a letter U upside down. See, curve right here, go all the way down. And then straight line across. Be creative, but not too creative. It's stained glass. Don't go crazy. Okay. And the reason why it's a certain way in the stained glass, just to complement the pattern, to contrast it so the pattern can stand out. Hear this? Candy cane are easy. After all that. Okay, now I'm gonna draw a candy cane. So I'm gonna draw from the middle. I'm going out and curve. See, drawing a circle helped me with this design tremendously. Okay, I'm gonna go out and curve and then draw them straight. See that? That's all the knowledge on the circle and the star. How to do straight line and then curve line accordingly. That's all part of it. So remember, you're not drawing a star. Learn how to draw a star just to draw a star. You're not learning how to draw a circle just to draw a circle. Imagine if you can draw a perfect circle, you will no longer afraid of curve. You can curve however you like. Okay. Let me go in to show you a few imperfections. Okay. The top is big and wide. This end is too small compared to the top. See it? Big and wide. This pen is a little small. And this, it's not straight. It's like weird. It's like a weird cane. You know what I mean? It's like curved. So you know why? It's because my line is not even yet. So when I make my line even upon my pressure, it's gonna help make this perfect. I'm gonna keep it at this zoom level so you can see, and it's time for me to make the pressure even. Okay. Going in. Now it's my chance to fix any imperfection. And watch, I'm not erasing anything. I'm just gonna go in and adjust the pressure. So if this is smaller than this, I'm gonna draw this outward like this. On the outside. Okay? And then the top, if it's too big, I'm gonna draw from the inside. Not the outside, inside. See, it's balanced out everything. See that? There. It's like watching magic happen. And of course, this one is too small, so I'm going to draw on the outside instead of the inside. There. Same thing here. I'm going to curve it first. Make sure the curve is perfect. And then draw from the outside. And across. This one too, just to be cohesive. It's a perfect candy cane. See that? By adjusting the pressure, I have chance to fix everything. And then this one is slanted, 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 and slanted. From here, curve and going down. From here, curve out. And then slanted here and slanted here. There your candy cane. Hear this. Oh wait, actually, let's draw these straight line first. Okay. Do it again just because it's inconsistent. Just remember, pressure make the line perfect. Consistent pressure make the line perfect. It requires a lot of focus. When you become better at line work, it's not just gonna make you a better artist, it's gonna make you a better person because you're gonna be more focused. It trains your focus. People are bad at nail art or bad at line work, not because they are bad artists, just because they don't have enough focus. Yeah, it's meditation. Ever heard when people say when they draw it relaxes them? It's not a lie. For real, it relaxes you. It relaxes me. Just because I find a certain focus when I draw. It's like the word disappear. I got a lot of customers that not even nail tech. They just step into art. They borrow art to make their life better. It's therapeutic to them. Make things beautiful, and then they wear, and when they wear the nail that they create. Just like that. See that? Now clear that. And you can be fun. You can go in and give a little curve like this, a little curve like that. You can be creative, but don't go too crazy. See, you can do something like that. Yeah. But don't be too crazy. Hear this? Oh, what's left is color. The easiest part. The easiest part because we use stained glass gel. We are taking our palette. Stained glass gel are rich like jelly gel. A rich like gel polish, but it's see-through like jelly gels. Okay, I'm gonna put it out. Okay, and then taking this out because it's done. You need an ombre brush, just in case. Put an ombre brush right here. And you need a emboss brush, not a liner brush. We're dealing with stained glass gel, not a gel paint. It's thinner, so I want to use something that can hold it well. A brush with volume, like an emboss brush or coloring brush. painted the scarf. Now you will have colors and you still can see the sheen from the oyster gel in the background. Hear this? Then candy cane. Same things. Red right here. Red right here. Another red right here. And I'm not putting any red out in the background. I'm keeping it in the object. So there is a separation between the design and the background. Hear this? Let me clean my brush a little bit. A lot, not a little bit. Okay, now I'm taking this, paint a little ornament. Okay, put in a little ornament just like that. Cure this. Now, one of my favorite is green, number 10, stained glass number 10. Paint it right here. Paint this right here. Ombre it out. Just right at the edge. And you just blend it out. Bam. Then some blue. This is number 8. A deeper blue, like an ocean. Hear this. And I am putting green all over this now. Start with the top. Ombre it out. Start right here. Ombre it out. Start right here. You know why I'm doing that? Why I'm not painting this too? By painting this right here and this right here, then when I'm ombre it, I might touch this. So that's why I'm not doing it ahead of time, even though doing it ahead of time should be a smarter way, but not in this kind of design. So I'm just painting a little bit, ombre a little bit, and then paint a little bit more. Okay, like that, paint it down, and then fill it in, paint it down, fill it in, and paint it down. And then you can add blue now, or you can cure and then add blue later. Up here. Paint it down, paint it down. Cure this. Then you're gonna go in here, put green right here, green right here, and here. Okay. And then green right here. It's just no rules. Put it wherever you see fit. Okay. Blend it down from the edge. Don't just start right here and just blend everything down. No, just start right at the edge and just blend it down. Using my ombre brush. My ombre brush are different than the rest. Hear this? Now, what I want is, I want the nail bed to be nude, matte. So I'm gonna take matte first. Matte it. And I am going to paint the nail bed. Don't do this. Don't do like that. No, just go all the way down. You can go all the way down, just like that, on the entire nails. Here. or you can go down just a little bit past the tips to make sure that the nail bed is completely matte. And then you use an ombre brush to, from here, you just blend the matte out so it's not bulky right here. Blend it out here. So you can do whatever you like. All the way down. Here this too. Now you can take this out. Gonna paint top coat right at the tips. But a velvet matte, before you do top coat on it, you should take acetone and just rub up the surface. It's velvet matte, like matted. It's no wipe. But the reason why you rub it up, because if you don't rub it up first, then it's staticky. It's staticky and it might shrink your top coat. So just rub it on acetone and that issue will go away when it comes to velvet. Another example is, if you ever have like a velvet or a suede shirt and you like spill some water on it and it doesn't soak into your clothing, it just like remain a tiny little droplet and it just stay on the top of your velvet or suede clothing like magic. It just stay there. It because of the static. It make the water shrink. It doesn't allow the water to soak into the clothing. So same thing with this velvet surface. So I'm gonna wipe up these other two now too. So when the gel couldn't adhere to the surface well, it's not gonna chip. It just, if it doesn't adhere well, if it just condense on the top of your surface, just like when a water droplet condense on the top of your suede outfit or velvet outfit. Now you know that when you wipe it up like this, it somehow just make it, the top coat soak in better. And the reason why it's like that, it's just because of the texture. The velvet texture like that. So you have embossed brush, you soak it into sanded top coat, and you start from here. You mark around the free edge. Mark around the free edge. And then you take sanded and run all the way down. Just like that. All the way down. Here this 60 seconds. Now, this finger, same things. Take some top coat and trace along the free edge. The reason why I have a lot of top coat, because when I take the brush and run down, I don't have to be careful. I'll show you on the next fingers. Here this 60 seconds. Now if you have like just a tiny bit amount of top coat, the line is so dainty, so thin, just a tiny bit amount like here. Just a very small amount of top coat. And then when you're taking your brush and brush it through, you have to be careful. Because since it's small, you have to go really close to the free edge. And when you go really close to the free edge, if you're not careful, you overlap it. That's why when I go in, I have a lot of top coat down here just to start with. So when I use in the brush, I can just from here, I can just stroke it down. That's it. And that will thin out the amount of gel that I have. If I have a lot of gel here, I just end up dragging it down. And that's it. Here, 60 seconds. And then I'm going to clean my palette. Take some dry paper towel. Clean up excess gel, fold it off. And then pour acetone over it. And clean up the stain on the palette. All done. Same thing here. Clean off excess gel first. Because if you put acetone on first, it's going to drip all over and it's going to blend with the gel. It's going to be a hot mess. So just wipe it off and then you can put some acetone here. Clean out the stain. And then the nails are done here. And that's it. That's how you achieve the stained glass effect using oyster gel and a bunch of line work that now hopefully you will use the knowledge to improve your skill. And don't forget to subscribe us on YouTube at Tino Vo. And everything that I use today is available in my shop at www.tinovo.shop. And until next time, bye-bye.